Hey everyone, I'm Arlen Bento Jr. and welcome to the Shoot Par Now Golf Show. I'm here with my co-host James Stammer.
Hey everybody. Hey,
and how you doing, Jamie?
I'm well.
And we're here to bring you some interesting things about golf. And before we get started, I would like to thank our show sponsor today, the Copper Tech Plus Training Glove. If you've not seen this before, you should get one. It's great. It's got two straps. It's got silicone. It's got these lines to make sure you put the grip in the right place. You strap.
It ain't slipping. And
No,
if you play in Florida,
you need a non-slip for sure.
You need a non-slip glove.
But man, when you put that thing on, it shows you with these arrows. Mm-hmm. You know, if you kind of slice or leave the face open, you want to have a couple more knuckles. You can see it. Okay. And if you want to practice, I love this training strap. It just wraps to the grip back here, and it makes you have this real stable grip. So if you're looking for something to improve your golf game, Copper Tech Plus training gloves. There's a link in the description. So anyway,
in the summertime, if it rains or you sweat a lot,
oh, this will be a great glove. Yeah, it works really, really well. And been friends with them for a long time. We've been to many shows, and they do a really nice job. So golf world, right? Always got something going on. But the tournament this week was interesting in Mexico, right?
Mexico.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun to watch. I mean, it was a crowded leaderboard, I'll tell you that.
There was a lot of people that were kind of hovering in that 18, 17, 19 range, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And is it Chris Campbell that won it? No, it's not Brian Campbell. I'm so sorry. So Brian Campbell won.
187th start on the PGA or Korn Ferry Tour.
Without a win.
Without a win. He had 186 starts on the two tours combined without a win.
Wow, he was due.
That's a lot. That's a lot of. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that just keeps plodding along. Oh, sooner or later, I'm going to do it, and
he finally did. By the hair of his chinny chin. Oh my gosh, did you see? Okay, so in case you didn't catch the tournament, right? So it's in Mexico. It's at altitude. I forgot the tagline that he had not won. No wonder he was so tense. So again, he gets in a play.
Everybody at the top of the leaderboard was looking for their first win.
Right.
I mean, you had about 5 or 6 guys that had not won. You had a 20-year-old kid who's from the young man from South Africa.
Couldn't even say his name. Potgieter. There you go.
Potgieter.
Great enunciation.
And his dad has to travel with him because
he's not old enough.
He's not old enough to rent a car, pay for a hotel, buy plane tickets. So he's got.
But he finished second. He probably got like $1 million, so he did good.
Yeah, he did. It was a good week for him, but yeah.
So
and he shot 61.
I know, he went bananas
on Thursday. He went crazy.
So Campbell, right? So he gets in, and I don't know how it happened, but he flared it like. Big time. Like Mickelson, U.S. Open, off a house, big time. Sorry, Phil, but we all remember that. So he hits this ball. I mean, it's way right. I mean, it's like no chance.
It's out of bounds.
Guarantee, right?
It's already out of bounds.
It hits something, tree house something, and kicks off the cart path.
Yeah.
And comes back into
the rough.
And he hits this. He lays up.
Lays up with a 3.
I forgot what the number was.
He had 330 yards to the hole. After his drive, and this is a 550-yard.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was monstrous, right? Like they can reach with 200 yards, right?
He did not hit a very good drive at all.
No. I mean, well, now you know why, right? Think about. Okay, let's finish. I'll tell you a story about that pressure because I know what that's like.
We saw it. We saw it yesterday.
It was right there.
If you watched it, yeah.
But so he recovers. He hits a good layup, and then he sticks it.
Yeah, he hits a wedge to feet.
Yeah, so and again makes his first win. And you know what's funny? They pan to his wife. I think it was his wife.
His girlfriend.
Yeah. And she had that look on her face, like, "Oh my gosh, like he's gonna win." Like there was that look of, you could tell she wasn't used to winning. She didn't have the PGA Tour wife winner look yet. She wasn't all decked out and fully jewelried, and she looked really like. She just showed up, like she just came back from grocery shopping or something. She didn't look bad. No, don't get me wrong. But she didn't look like the typical. She
wasn't ready for the moment.
Yeah. But the point I was going to make was, I can't tell you how many swings that I made like that when it counted.
Oh, yeah.
just the pressure of like, when you're trying to play professionally, and again, he's at a different level. Even to make that many starts, he's a great player, right? I mean, he's 187 starts on 2 of the biggest tours in the world.
Yeah.
He's a great player, right? I'm no near that kind of player. But just to stand there and you kind of go, man, if I birdie here, I get into this, or I'm one shot off of something big, right?
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times I've bounced balls off parking lots and I never got a break.
No, the monkey never threw the ball back to the fairway like he did yesterday.
I don't think I ever had one. I was thinking about the other day, like how many, I'm trying to go, there's not like millions of them, but the ones that I remember, I never caught a tree and kicked back. I'm sure there was breaks that we all had, but I just watched that and I saw, so again, back to golf, right? So we call this Shoot Par now. It's a learning system I coach, and I work with a lot of players, been through, thousands of lessons, and a lot of good player swings, right? But under pressure, it doesn't take much to leave.
Tournament pressure is different than winning a skin from your buddy.
Oh, that's not even. I'm talking like pressure, right?
Yeah.
To leave the face open, 2 degrees, and that caused the ball to do what it did. I mean, we're not talking he just left the face open.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's got to feel great for him. If you catch our video, Brian, I give you a lot of credit for hanging in there and not giving up. And again, being able to he wasn't rattled when he hit the layup.
No.
Like he just went back into his mode, right?
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
And he hit a good shot. And
it was funny because the announcers were talking. They were saying, don't think that these guys always hit shots this badly and miss shots with this kind of, for as many times as they were doing it then.
Right.
And they were like, here's what they're looking at. Winner's check is $1.26 million.
Yep. That's life-changing.
You're exempt on the PGA Tour
5
through the end of the 2027 season.
So 2 more.
So it's like you get into the Masters.
Yep.
You get into the U.S. Open. You
Yep.
get into the British Open.
Yeah.
You get
all the majors.
So it's like, you think about it. I mean, this is life-changing for someone that doesn't have full status on tour beyond, the events that they've got this year. So it's easy to see how you could get tight.
Oh, for sure.
How could you not?
Yeah, can you imagine what's
I was getting tight just watching it.
Can you imagine what's going through the guy's head, like just in his head?
Yeah.
And again, it's really hard to stay in the moment and not think about what this could do, because he's so that by Friday or Saturday when he's in contention, he's already thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's thinking about it.
Yeah, everybody thinks, wow, what if I win this? What do I got to do to win this?
Yeah, and they're trying not to probably talk about it. They're trying to stay in the moment, whatever.
Like a pitcher with no hitter, don't talk.
Yeah, don't talk to him. But I'm telling you, that's a great story. And I you never know. Like that could be the catalyst for somebody like that to, turn around and he could win a major. What if he wins a major? Yeah, he'd go somewhere and win a major, and you'd be like, wow. Remember that shot he almost lost to the right on Mexico? Yeah. It'll be a great story, And
my wife asked me, she says, what if it hadn't come out of there? What would have happened? I said, he'd have been hitting his 3rd shot from the tee, right where he was just standing.
Yeah. He would have lost.
And she says, oh, then it's over, right? Pretty much it would have been over, yeah.
Yeah, unless the guy starts cold shanking the ball down the fairway. It made me think of Tin Cup a little bit. There was something else I was watching someplace and they had to carry. Maybe it was like last week we were talking about it. But anyway, it was a good finish.
Fun to watch.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. And now we get to watch them all come to our area.
Right down the street here.
Right on the road, right?
Right down the road.
In the Cognizant.
30, 35 miles down the road?
I don't think it was that far from here.
Might not even be.
From Stuart, I don't think it's that far.
Probably not.
Port St. Lucie, maybe. But
yeah.
So the PGA Tour is going to come to our area, PGA National, the Cognizant Classic. That's the name of it. We still did not find out what Cognizant.
They had a couple of commercials.
Oh, you saw it? I didn't see it.
They did.
So you thought it was finance or healthcare?
They're basically an operating system for businesses to keep track of payroll, benefits, everything else.
So it's software.
Yeah,
oh, okay. Software company. Okay. So they're the sponsor. Awesome, right? Got to have a sponsor. Playing PGA National in the simulator. We have hole 1, which is one of the friendlier holes out there.
Yeah.
I always like hole 1. Not sure I like the finishing holes so much.
Yeah.
They're pretty hard.
They can be brutal.
So did you look at weather this week? Because it's kind of like we're having a lot of rain today.
It's supposed to be cool.
It's supposed to be a little cooler.
To be really cool or almost cold, I guess. Depending on where you're from.
Well, for us, it'll be, if it's at 70 degrees, we're cold and there's jackets and boots and craziness.
Yeah.
But it's always the wind, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that golf course, yeah. There's a lot of water.
There's so much coming down the stretch.
Wind plays differently over water. It accelerates over water. The whole finishing
bear,
run,
you've got the bear trap, the famous bear trap that you can't really hit any errant balls, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, it'll be good to watch. It's always good for our area. I was saying before we started the show that people were calling me for tickets, and I'm like, tickets? Like, I don't get tickets for those things anymore. I mean, I used to get a lot of tickets when I was doing like different kind of work, but working for manufacturers, but like, I don't get any tickets anymore. I haven't been probably since I stopped being having that golf sales and marketing stuff I used to do. But if you live in the area, if you're watching this, you should go. Because if you've never been to, very easy. Parking's fine. I mean, and it's not a hard course to get around. Entry point's easy. Once you're there, you can move around pretty easily. It's not a. I don't think PGA National's a hard walking course at all because it's designed for resort play. It's very unusual to have a course of that caliber inside a resort. Yeah. I mean, I know there's a few, but that's a good golf course. It's been there a long time.
Yeah.
So.
They let the rough grow up a little more than normal on the PGA Tour. Jack still has a hand in some of that.
I wonder who's going to be the favorite. Because a lot of names are playing.
A lot of names are playing. I mean, they're getting ready because in 2 weeks they play. Obviously, they play the Cognizant. Then they go to Bay Hill.
Yeah,
so it's a signature event.
Everybody loves
These guys want to be on for that because that's a $20 million purse with like $2 million and change going to the winner.
Yeah, big check.
So you want to be sharp going into Arnie's when you go into Arnie's event,
right?
And then you got the players right after that. And
right.
You've got Valspar over on the other coast,
right?
But it's big.
That's the Florida swing.
I think I looked. I think I added it up, but it was like $63 million in change.
So it's a big chunk for these guys
for the Florida swing.
So again, what we're talking about is when the prize money is good, right? You see more players. Like Mexico is a weird one because a lot of guys are like in between swings, right?
Yeah, they're just leaving
the
Arizona
West
and California,
and they've been out. They've probably done 4 of the big ones, and Mexico is the one that everybody skips. And then they'll all be here for 3 or 4, and they obviously players is important, right? The Valspar just depends. I think Valspar is kind of like one of those. Sometimes all the big names don't play.
Yeah,
it gets a little, but it's good for the young guys, right?
Yeah. But then by the time they get to Valspar, it's almost time for the Masters,
right? The gear up.
You've got guys that are trying to gear up.
Yeah,
and get
and they still go to Texas though before Masters, right? Like Shell Houston, whatever used to be the Open in Texas. I forgot because that's the one that is the one that Jimmy Herman won. Remember a couple of years ago that he got into the Masters. I haven't seen him around a long time, but the local guy that got in, it's been a really good player for a long time. So again, we're gonna have to cover some stuff. I don't know. Are you gonna go down at all to look at it?
I'll be down there tomorrow.
I'll
definitely be down there tomorrow and probably over the weekend.
Are you doing are you covering something or are you just going to check it out?
I'm just going to go down and have a nice lunch.
Yep.
And then wander around, go over to the practice range, the putting green, and see what the guys are up to. It's a lot of fun because you get to see a lot of the new equipment that these guys are testing. Some of the prototype equipment that's out there.
I wonder if the new golf ball, the Titleist ball, is going to be there.
And
I don't think they put that out yet, did they?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't think it has. I don't think yet. But they may have it just because.
The story behind that? Have you been following that a little bit?
I have been following that too.
So Titleist has this new golf ball everybody's talking about, and it's supposed to be this super ball that kind of breaks all the barriers of spin and distance and softness. So we'll see what that looks like. I haven't seen one yet. I was just talking to a lesson I had today, and he caddies at a very well-known place, and he was saying he actually saw the ball because the president of Titleist was playing. And the question came up. He's like, "Oh, can I have it?" No, not
yet.
And let you touch it. And there was no mark on it, no numbers, no nothing. It was just the ball that they're going to make a big deal about it, right?
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if it'll come up, but it'll be interesting to watch. Are you going down? I mean, obviously, it's you're using your press pass and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So when you go as a reporter or a writer, that pass will get you into everything.
Pretty much, yeah.
Locker room too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, but if you were going to do interviews, you would just sit like in the little pit they have and kind of like, if you were going to cut.
I go up and approach the guys with it. A lot of the guys will talk to you on the driving range.
Yeah.
On the practice range or on the putting green. Depends on what they're in the middle of doing.
Yeah. And of course, there's guys Yeah, and
there's guys that I've known for years.
Yeah.
And I see them, and they'll stop and chat with me for a few minutes or whatever. And,
yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, I don't really go into the locker room that much because that's kind of their
private area,
their domicile.
Yeah,
that's kind of
you're not trying to find a scoop there, right?
But they want to get away from everybody.
Do you look for stories? Do you ever like find yourself in the middle of something, kind of going?
I've done some oddish things.
Yeah. Oh, that's good sometimes.
I mean, one year when I was down there, it was the Winter Olympics were on.
Yep.
So I asked the guys. I said, everybody always asks them, well, what new club are you trying out this week? What are you doing? How do you feel about your chances? And so I was like, I'm going to ask them something different.
Okay.
I said, if you weren't here this week playing in this event and you were at the Winter Olympics instead, what sport would you want to be in?
That was your question.
That was my question.
They probably dug that, didn't they?
And they were like, well, this is kind of neat. So I've known Ian Poulter for a long time. Ian Poulter is a car nut. So Ian he says to me, he goes, well, what do you think? You know me. I said, well, you'd drive the bobsled. And he goes, yeah, I'd drive a bobsled. I would be there. He says, that's what I do.
That's really cool.
And a lot of the guys, you'd think curling would have been really popular.
Kind of golfy like.
But they're all like, that's kind of slow. We play a slow, kind of boring
I want to
sport.
watch something fast.
I want something fast. Jim Furyk was like, I want to go downhill skiing.
That's a crazy one.
He says, you mess up, it's over. It's done. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, be done.
It's just like that.
That's funny. That's a good way you got to do it sometimes, because a
lot of guys were really fun. Tommy Fleetwood was like, I'd love to be a short track speed skater. He says, can you imagine if I had legs like those guys, how far I'd hit the ball?
Oh man, it's true,
He
right?
says, man, he goes, that's what I would like to do. And off of Bonrot.
I don't know who that is.
He's one of the guys from off the European, big chubby guy, big tall.
Yeah.
I asked him, I said, what would you do? He's from Thailand. He says, I do Thai boxing. I said, well, that's a summer sport. I think winter sports. Cold stuff. Winter sports.
Probably not familiar to him.
He says, soccer. I go, well, soccer again is a summer sport. He goes, I said, how about hockey? That's kind of like
rough, something rough.
He goes, can you see me on skates?
No.
I said, no. He goes, how about I just carried a flag in? He
goes,
I don't think
Thailand doesn't have a winter team, does it? So I wanted to say something real quick too, because I want to talk a little bit about the LPGA and the putting thing you were telling me about. I thought that was interesting. But last week, when we were talking about this arm lock putter that I got from Cobra, this face technology is from LA Golf, right? Mm-hmm. So we're talking about. So I said I sent the wrong technology. Now you said that's an expense. They do a lot.
They had their own putter line,
right,
and balls and everything else at the merchandise show. I think they were out for the first time 2 years ago. And they were nuts. I mean, their putters were $700-800.
So I was looking at this one.
Crazy.
So the tech is that the face is on different angles, right? So it's like 5 degrees. I think it goes like 5 or 6, 5, 4, 3. Mm-hmm. And but it's made for this arm lock that's kind of like forward press. So anyway, I did want to thank Cobra for sending this to me. I'm still working on it. I'm not in love with it. It seems like it gets the ball online, but it doesn't feel good. Like I can't get my body to like it.
Yeah.
But I'm
a completely different setup and everything.
Yeah, my eyes are messed up because it looks close to me and it looks like but when I roll it, it rolls good. So I'm still working on it. I'm gonna give it, like I don't play a lot, so it doesn't matter to me. But as far as I'm not like trying to play anything. But I like to try new stuff to help share with my students, right? So anyway, I just want to make sure I got the face on that correct. Right?
That's why I go down when I'm down at the Honda on Tuesdays
to see what they're putting.
Tuesday, I roll around playing with all the different putters out of all the different,
just to see what's out there
from all the reps.
Yeah,
just to see what new putters are out there. And many years ago, before the event moved to here, it was down at Eagle Trace down in Fort Lauderdale. When I was there, I met Garen Reif, and he had his two-bar putter. And I was knocking everything in from all over the place. And I looked at him, I said, I got to have one of these. He goes, well, you can. I don't sell them. I'm like, what the hell? How do you not? How are you? He goes, no, it's just tour only. I'm just out here seeing what the guys think. I'm like, I'm going to stick this down the back of my shirt and take it with me. I'm like, so eventually I got one from him.
Oh, okay.
But it was like, man, this thing's really cool.
I remember those. Those were really good putters.
That was a great putter.
Yeah. Again, kind of clunky looking.
Yeah.
But Now, speaking of putters and clunky, so tell me a little bit what you told me, because I did not catch this.
Well, the LPGA Tour this weekend, as we all know, there's been a lot of talk about slow play,
right, on all tours, not just not ladies,
on every tour.
Every tour,
and a lot of it seems to be boiling down to the time these guys
and
gals spent lining up putts, figuring out what the break is, and everything else. And the aim point system that they use, which is very, very popular, it involves walking down your line,
getting your degrees,
trying to see how your feet feel. Oh, well, am I leaning right or am I leaning left? And
what's the slope and
what's going on here? Well, Lim Kim had a birdie putt on the par 4 fourth hole on Saturday. She hit a solid putt, and it went about 11 inches or so past the hole. She went around the hole. She marked the ball. She picked the ball up. She went through her little routine. She went back. She put the ball down. She did her routine. And it was literally like a minute or more just to knock this little,
probably more than a minute.
Yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous.
So she took a lot of flack.
And social media just jumped all over her.
Oh. Now, granted, she's trained. No matter what putt she has,
this is your routine.
Don't change your routine.
And
it just seemed like it was a little much.
Yeah, and a lot of golf psychiatrists they say that. That's what they teach you.
Mm-hmm. Don't change your routine.
Don't change your routine, because your body and your muscles are used to a certain routine. They're used to it taking a certain amount of time, and this rhythm is built into your brain and built into your golf swing, and that's how you stay consistent. That's how you maybe don't flare the face open off the tee and hit it out of bounds and have to hope for a monkey to throw it back off a tree.
Right.
But that she
took a lot. It just took too long.
It just seemed like a little ridiculous for how short a putt it was.
Have you ever tried aim point yourself? I mean,
I have not. I haven't gotten into it enough to try to figure it out.
So,
and I mean, and if I'm putting for a 5 or a 6,
who cares, right? Yeah, no, it doesn't. So, yeah, don't be out there like doing aim point when you're putting for double bogey, right? Like, putt it, pick it up.
My buddies would throw something at me.
So, the concept of aim point's good, right? So you're trying to find a high-low. You're trying to give it a grade, and that grade determines what spot you're aiming at. So I took aim point. I teach a variation of it. It's like it's my way of it, and it works really good. We teach in our classes. So we find a high-low spot, part of Shoot Par Now, and we call the low spot 6 o'clock. That's a straight up putt. The thing that I tell students, depending where you're on the clock, kind of determines how the ball is going to break. And we use like a 3-finger system. So 1 is straight, and 2 is a little break, and 3 is a big break. And you just basically pull your fingers back, and the 3rd finger kind of shows you where you're supposed to aim. It's not as
the ball over.
Yeah, it's not as precise as aim point. But it's pretty good. And I've helped
20 times faster.
Oh, it's just like you feel like, oh, I'm like this, and you think straight is 1, 2 is a little break, 3 is a little break. That's it.
Yeah. I
mean, I'm not going to go past that. So looks like a pretty big break. I put my finger on the edge of the hole. I pull it back. My 3rd finger says, oh, it's right there. And then that's my intermediate target. I just putt to that. And it works pretty good. When you do it with my clock theory stuff, it works really well. But anyway, I do like it, and it does help people see it. You know what, the plumb bob, right? The whole
I remember those from back.
I never really understood what I was doing.
How that one worked.
Well, they were trying to see put it on the hole and see the hole. You can see high, low. But it all comes down to, putting's all about learning how to control speed. And then, look at the hole, go check the burn on the hole, find the low. The low spot is where the ball's going to break. That's where it's going to go. And so if you know where low is, you kind of know where the break's going. But I tell people all the time, you just find the low side, you're going to at least pick the break. Yeah. Again, some putts are harder than others.
Once you get an idea of, does it go left or does it go right? Yeah,
it does. But you're going to see a lot of aim point this week. And if those of you that are local that are watching this, we're in the middle of our high season here, and I've got all new classes launching this week at the golf course, so you can check out shootparnow.com. If you like our show, please like and subscribe. Make sure to check on the link, because I give away 3 free lessons. These are video lessons that teach the follow through, the backswing, and the downswing. So if you're struggling with your game and looking for something to work on, I think you'll like those. So make sure you check that out. We also have online lessons and memberships and all kinds of cool stuff. But so anyway, that's kind of it for us this week. Unless you wanted to add something else.
Hey, maybe that's what I'll ask the guys about tomorrow down there at Aim Point while we're on.
Yeah, ask them what they think about that.
What do you guys think of this?
And you might see a lot of them have variations of what we just talked about. So, all right, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in,
everybody.
See you next week.